Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Three Bunnies Design Trunk Show. I just want to introduce Laura, our dyer and spinner, crochet designer, multi-talented Jersey girl. Laura has brought us today a show full of variety. So we're going to see her hand-dyed yarn. We're going to see her hand-dyed roving, and we're also going to be seeing her hand-spun yarn. So before I give it over to Laura, I do have a couple of housekeeping things to get to. And I'm looking down because if I don't put all the stuff in a list, I won't remember everything. So I've already told everybody we're recording this. So if you don't want to be seen on camera, just turn off your camera. If you need help with that, I can also send you a little message that'll turn off your camera for you. We're doing a giveaway at the end of the show. So how you qualify to win is to either comment on the YouTube video when it's on YouTube, hey Wendy, or comment on Instagram or post what you bought or something you liked on Instagram with the hashtag 3BunnyTrunkShow, and that is all spelled out, 3BunnyTrunkShow. Also, we're doing things a little bit differently today. You're going to be ordering your hand-dyed yarns and your hand-dyed roving from Laura's website, which is https://3bunniesdesigns.square.site. That was a lot. I made a slide, and I'll put it up later. And it's also on your download. Does everybody have their download? Do I need to put it in the chat so you can download it now? It's just a cheat sheet so you can follow along with us as we go. Oh, also, please hold questions verbally, put them in the chat, and I'll relay them to Laura. That way she doesn't get bombarded, all right? Oh, was there anything else? Oh, the hand-spun yarns are on my website. That's www.knitsheath.com. Just click the shop site and you'll go right over there. And I think that is all of our housekeeping now. Hi, everybody. Meet Laura Stout, our dyer of the day. Laura, take it away.
Hi, my name is Laura Stout, and I am the slave of the Three Bunny Designs. Our chief bunny officer happens to be Yuki. Actually, Three Bunny Designs was named after the three that I had over my life. Prancer was my first, and then I brought along Mokina. And then when Prancer unfortunately passed away, Yuki showed up. Unfortunately, a few years ago, Mokina passed away, so currently it's just me and Yuki. I dye yarn, I dye roving, I also spin, and I process fiber. And now I'm getting nervous.
That's okay. You are just fine. You know what? Don't be nervous. Okay. Let me get our slides up. I just want to show everybody your website name so they can get it. This is Laura's website. Let me slide that over so you can actually see the H. And I will also put it in the chat. And now all you need to do, Laura, is show us some pretty, pretty yarn.
Okay, I will show you yarn. First up today is what I call English Spot. It's part of what I'm trying to create as a bunny breed collection. This is after one of the oldest domesticated rabbit breeds. But I also put this color because it's very similar to what my first rabbit, Prancer, was. He was actually a dwarf Rex, but he had the spots similar to an English spot. So this is the yarn.
I'm sorry, Laura. I think I'm a little out of order. You just did English spot?
Yeah, it's the first one.
I certainly did. Okay. So that's a nice close-up picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be fun. This is the bunny that inspired the color. Notice those little spots right there? Okay, Laura, take it away.
Okay, the pattern that we used as the design is the Prism Shawl by Tanis Fiber Arts, Tanis Lavally, and that's the shawl while it was being made. And this is what it is when it was, when it was done. It's a knit pattern that my mother did as a sample. So you can see how the colors work.
So because of the way it's variegated, I would say choose the simplest pattern that you can find and let the yarn really sing. The yarn is actually the star of this pattern.
Yes. That's English Spot. The next one is.
Do you also, does this come in roving too, Laura?
The English Spot does not. I didn't think it would translate well as a roving, so I did not do that in anything but yarn.
Thanks.
Okay. The next one up is Plumtastic. Now, when I was making this, I was kind of like just playing with the colors. I thought they were really neat. And when it was done, I was like, kind of reminds me of plums. So that's where the name comes in. And you can see there's a lot of variegation, some spots to it. A little hint of the yellow of the flesh of the plum.
I see it.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we didn't do any samples for this one, so sorry about that. But
did you have a crochet piece or something?
No, I didn't. This is the only one that doesn't have the sample.
Ah, got it. Not a problem. But you did it up as roving too, right?
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. It's also done as well. This is Chevio roving. I haven't done it yet in merino, but it'll be kind of similar to that in a merino. So you can see the way the colors come out on the roving as opposed to how they come out on the yarn. So they're going to have a different effect when you spin it. The yarn's going to be definitely a lot different than the dyed yarn.
Hey, Laura, can you turn the volume up a little bit? I'm getting a comment that it's hard to hear you.
Okay.
We have a tiny bit of technical difficulty, guys. We'll return with your regularly scheduled programming momentarily.
Yes, I hear. Oh. Actually, let me turn off the air conditioner. Maybe you can hear me. Got the air conditioner blowing in my ear. How's that? Is that better?
Can you hear Laura better?
Yes, I can hear now.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Can you tell us a bit about Chevio versus merino? What's the wool be like?
Okay, well, the Chevio, there it is actually, it's a group of breeds that are native to the British Isles. It says that they were actually kind of like rescued from a 14th century Spanish shipwreck. It has a unique three-dimensional crimp, and it dyes well, but not quite as brilliantly as a merino. And it's very fluffy and very fluffy. It's not maybe as soft as merino, but it definitely has a lot of bounce to it.
So it's bouncy. Am I going to get stitch definition out of that?
Possibly.
Cool, because that's a little personal obsession of mine. I like to see my stitches like little soldiers. So, could you show us how you did that one? Is that one of the ones you did braided, or is that one of the ones that you did?
This one I just did in the pot. I didn't braid it. I just laid it out in the pot and then put the dye on it. So this is just going to be. There's
That'll-
no hidden white in here or no surprises other than the way the color comes out when you spin it.
Oh, well, we have a question from Maureen. Yes, Maureen, that's something you spin yourself. That's roving. And if you want to, but spinning is fun. I know you're not one to spin, but I think once you try it, you'll get a little addicted.
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
What's next?
What's next is we have Bunny's got her blue jeans on. This is actually, it has a lot of tones from like blue jeans. There is different variations of denim. There's even a little bit of yellow, little spot here and there of yellow, which I always imagine is the button that you have on your jeans. Definitely each skein of yarn is going to be unique, just as every pair of jeans is going to be unique. So there's a little hint of turquoise in here. There's some black in here and lots of speckling. This one we did do, my mother did a pair of socks. So you can see, well, I think Lisa's got a good pair of them on the, yep, there you go. That's a really good picture of the socks. That
Now,
she
one of
made.
the things I liked about this yarn was that little pop of that bright blue. To me, it feels like the yarn almost sparkles.
Mm-hmm. Now this actually is also available in roving. And the two rovings that I did for this, I did these actually, when I put them in the dye pot, I left them as braids. So that way, if you look here, I don't know if you can see it on the picture, but if you look here, you can see spots of white on there from where the dye did not hit the inside of the fiber from the braid. It was a resist point, so that creates white in there. So as you're spinning it, you're going to have pops of white as you're spinning it, and that should create a really cool effect. And that is available in Merino and Chevio.
So as you're holding the Merino and Chevio in hand, what do they feel like compared to each other?
The Merino is very smooth and soft, and the Chevio is a little bit more fuzzy than the Merino.
So for my taste, I would do the Chevio for a sweater or a garment that I really want to wear a lot, because it's going to not pill as quickly.
Right.
And Merino I would do for something that is a next to the skin garment. So maybe shawls and scarves or sweaters that will be lightly worn, because it's just a softer, more delicate wool.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And then last but not least is, oops, where'd it go? Is what I call I broke it. Now, the cool thing about this particular dye was that it's actually a mixture of dyes. So when I speckled it in the pot, it kind of broke into, there was an emerald green, there was an olive green, and it's hints and pops of yellow and blue, which obviously make green. So this dye broke in the pot, but it broke so wonderfully and so cool that I loved it. I fell in love with this color. And not only does this come into the yarn, but I also did it as the Chevio in the braid. So that way you can see some of the white in there as well. Now it's going to be different on the roving because there's no speckling on here, but you can see how the colors, just the one spoonful of dye, how that created such a different effect.
Oh yeah. Now, if you are spinning this, for the spinners that are joining us today, what do you recommend as the method for spinning this? Would you say a fractal spin would be a good thing, or?
I think that definitely you would want to split it if you want to have a different change, and there's going to be a little bit of barber pulling with that, with the white that's underneath. Yeah, probably the fractal or just splitting the braid would be a lot, make it stand out a lot more.
Now, a little bird told me that you also have Z-Twist yarns on your website.
Yes, I do.
And
As a crocheter, I found that a lot of the times when I was crocheting my own hand spun, it would unply itself, and I thought there was something wrong with me. There wasn't anything wrong with me, believe it or not. But it was actually the way that when I was working with the hook, I was actually untwisting the yarn that I had spun. So I did a little bit of thinking, a little bit of research, and I found out that if I switch the way that I spin and that I ply, I'm actually creating a yarn that I can crochet with, because I'm reversing it, so that way rather than untwisting the yarn as I'm crocheting, I'm twisting it more. So it depends, because I do usually 2-ply yarns, so I spin in one direction, and then when I ply, you ply in the other direction. So all I did was I just switched the way that I was doing it, and it works out a lot better. So if you're a crocheter or a left-handed knitter, and you're finding you're having problems with your yarn, look for Z-Twist yarns.
now, do you find that the work looks different with Z-Twist yarns? How do the stitches work up compared to S-Twist yarns? Are the stitches smoother? Is the yarn kind of tighter?
Well, it depends. If you're going to be knitting right-handed or regular with a Z-Twist yarn, you're probably going to find that it unravels a little bit. But if you're crocheting or left-hand knitting, then you're going to find that you're going to have a better effect, and your yarn is going to stay together more.
Okay, cool. So that's something you can look at for our left-handed knitters out there and our crocheters. When you visit Laura's website, take out the Z-Twist yarn, and it'll be just a nice little change of pace. I'm going to share a screen with you momentarily. I just want to make sure everybody knows. We're going to use when you shop from Laura's website, please use I don't know why I can't get the words out right now, the promo code trunk free ship, and she will ship you yarn for free.
Okay.
Somebody just knocked at the window to say hello. Shop today. So the promo code is trunk free ship, and your items will be shipped to you for free.
No, so this is, well, for, I guess, going back to the I Broke It, this is how I did a cowl, and this is a crochet cowl.
Oh, lovely.
It's the Juicy Cowl by Effa Design Team, Expression Fiber Arts, and that way you can see how the I Broke It comes as a crocheted item.
And let me tell you, you must be a little bit psychic, Laura, because Wendy asked in the chat, is there a sample for I Broke It?
Yeah.
But these colors just kind of flow across whatever you make. So like I said, I think simple patterns will just let the colors sing. Or if you're going to work a skein of this into another project, it could just be the star of whatever you're working it in. And I'm going to have to position myself so you guys, I don't like keep moving around and making you guys dizzy. Sorry about that. Okay. So let me do one last thing. I wanted to take you guys on a little field trip to Laura's website so you can see what else is going on over there. It's 3bunnydesigns.square.site. And I just wanted to, do a little run through so we can see what all's going on over there. Because she's spinning S-twist, she's spinning Z-twist, she's doing roving. I don't know, Laura. I don't know when you sleep. Oh, let me ask you, do you have your Z-twist yarns anywhere in particular? Are they singled out or?
No, not yet. There's only a few of them out there, so I haven't put them into a category.
Okay, so you just have to look at the descriptions.
Yeah.
Let me copy that. And I will post her website into the chat. And if anybody has any questions about anything we're seeing now, just fire away. Monica would like to know if you wind the yarn before you ship it.
I don't normally, but if you don't have a yarn winder, I can do that.
Okay, would they just need to send you an email?
Yep, just send me an email, or I don't know if there's going to be notes that are available in when you order your yarn, or just just send me an email and let me know you ordered this yarn, and I'll wind it up.
Or if you don't have Laura's email, you can email me and I'll pass it on to Laura. Let me start that share. This is a close-up of Bunny got her blue jeans on as the roving. And this is the white spot she was talking about. Actually, I like the way it's a bright color, but it's really only white in the very middle.
Right.
Got different colors of shades of blue. That's kind of gorgeous.
Yes.
Okay, I am going to, I'm going to pop a link to Laura's website into the chat. So you guys, please do remember to save your chat before you go. There you go. That will link you right to it. And the promo code for free shipping is
Trunk free ship.
Trunk free ship. Does it have to be all caps or no?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
As long as it's just one word.
I'm putting that in the chat too. There you go. Okay. It's my turn.
Take it away.
So I'm going to be, Laura, I will be asking you to chime in and giving like the spinner's perspective.
Right.
Now, I thought I was all ready, and I am. Good me. So, to buy Laura's Handspun, you want to check out my website. It's www.knitsheep.com and hit the shop button. And the trunk show items are right on the front page in a category called Free Bunny Designs Trunk Show. Now, what I'm showcasing is Laura's Handspun. And I'm just going to highlight a few of them because you guys have the entire show at your fingertips. Now, Laura was naughty. She did not give these evocative names. But one of the things I like about Laura's style is that things are so well blended, and you get colors that are not flat, and you get yarns that are textured and colorful. So this is a blend of merino, alpaca, and acrylic. It's 220 yards, and it is a DK weight. This is LS 066. That's very unromantic, but I think of it as the water lilies, because it reminds me of the colors in Monet's water lily paintings. We also have, she also does breed specific. So this happens to be a Suffolk wool. Laura, can you tell us a little bit about the Suffolk breed?
Sure.
And their wool?
Okay. Suffolk sheep are actually mainly used for meat. However, if they have a really good wool, have a good fleece, they're a joy to work with. It's naturally white, and they're good for winter garments because they're bulky fiber. When I did my very first Suffolk spin, I didn't really like it. I was just like, ooh, this is disgusting. but kind of like that ugly teenager, once I washed it, it bloomed. And I found that I had it sitting next to me, and every few minutes I kept picking it up and squeezing it like that old loved teddy bear. And then I put it down, and then I pick it up again. So it's a very squishy, squishy fiber. It's not really that soft because it's mostly, like I said, mostly used for meat, and they're not really bred for the fleece. But it's really good for outer garments and things that would, that you would need to have to keep you warm.
Yeah. And what I'm finding though, I'm holding the skein of it. I wouldn't say it's not, see, for me, it's soft enough because I'm a woolly wool person, but it's not hairy and scratchy like an Icelandic wool, but it doesn't have that smoothness that merino has. But it's very lively, and it will actually knit up beautifully. And this is an example for the non-spinners here of what you were talking about when you mentioned barber poling. Could you tell people about that a little bit?
Barber poling is kind of like when you imagine the old-fashioned barber pole. There's a light and a dark color, or two different colors, and you can see in this one how there's the gray and the red kind of like wrap around each other. You can see pops of the gray and the orange barber pole together. So they're not just one solid color, they change colors.
So this will knit up actually quite variegated, but I don't think it will have a tendency to pool.
That one actually might, if I remember correctly, I might have done that as a fractal.
Oh, so you made stripes in it.
Yeah, I can kind of tell from the way it looks. I think that one I did as a fractal.
Bonus, it will stripe. Great.
It's all coming back to me now.
If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I always like when we have someone who spins, because they just have a lot of fiber knowledge. Now this particular skein, I like very much. It's an Aran, it's a bulky weight, so it's heavier than a worsted, heavier than an Aran. Oh, and you know what, Laura, you had mentioned some of these you did as Arans and some are kind of worsted. Can you tell me a little bit of the difference? Aran is just like a little half step below a bulky, is that correct?
Right, yeah, it would go, I guess generally it would go worsted, Aran, and then bulky in the weight of the yarn and how thick it would be.
But this is what I was telling you guys about, that because she's blending different fibers and different colors, you're getting all kinds of effects in the yarn. Now this one happens to be a Romney with bamboo, soft silk, and Firestar. Firestar is what causes that little glittery effect that we're getting. You can see a teeny tiny bit of sparkle in the brown. Now is that brownish tannish color, is that the natural color of the sheet?
Yes, it is.
So you're getting some of the natural color of the sheet plus little pops of color contrasting off of it. Now, to me, the Romney, it feels a little softer than the Sheffield. No, than the Suffolk that we just looked at.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm holding now. But it still has that airy, squishy feeling. Now I do make these big sometimes so I can see them, but then I have a little trouble getting them to squish back down. Okay. Now this will, okay, you're gonna have to help me with this one, Laura. How do I say it again?
Zortbulls.
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 What's a Zortbulls, Laura?
It's an alien from another planet. No. It's actually, the Zwertbull is actually a cross between two breeds from Netherlands, but they imported some of them into the UK so it would be more readily available, and also I guess to drive people crazy with the way it sounds. which is kind of why I kind of started spinning it, because I just love the way it sounded. The sheep itself is actually mostly raised from milk and meat. But as you can see, you know, whatever your sheep breed is, don't hesitate to spin it or to give it a try, because you never know what you're going to find.
Yeah.
The color itself is mostly black to dark brown. And this is actually mixed with the Jacob wool, which is actually a tricolored sheep. You can see the pops.
So is that where that white and gray color comes
The
from?
white and the gray come from the Jacob, and probably some of the dark brown as well.
Now, what's giving us that hairy look?
Um,
Is that the Zwartbles?
and I think it's probably the Zwartbles and the Jacob, but also probably with the way I spun it.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more more fuzz, more of a halo.
Okay, so this has a halo built in. And while it is not scratchy, it's not soft like merino, but it still has a good feel to it. And I think if you made a hat out of this, you'd be very, very happy.
Now this is definitely, they say this has really good stitch definition. And it brings springiness and resilience with your.
Yeah, I can feel the spring in the skein.
Yeah.
It has a nice bounce to it.
And it's got the bamboo in there for a little bit of a shine.
Yeah, you get that sheen. Now this one, for the softer yarn people, this is going to be a softer feeling to the hand skein. There's alpaca, it's mixed wool and bamboo, 264 yards. And it's giving you a little bit of halo. And I suspect that's coming from the wool.
Yes. But I remember that was a very fun spin. I really enjoyed spinning that.
Why? What was it different?
I like the way the colors kind of like popped in there, kind of like just slid in there amongst the brown of the alpaca and the other wools.
Yeah. And wow, you can feel the alpaca in the skein. So it's got that softness and smoothness that you always get from alpaca. But I think it's gonna be more, to me, alpaca is slipperier than I like to work with because I'm used to wool. So I think the wool's gonna give it a bit of grab so that it won't slide around on your needles, but you still get that alpaca softness.
And with the wool, it will bounce back and you won't end up with, you know, you start out in the morning with the hat that fits a toddler, and by the time you get to the afternoon, you've got the elephant size hat. So the wool will help keep its shape.
Or super long sleeves. Oh, Susan, let me let you know, Laura. Susan says your yarn is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And she's loving it.
Thank you.
I have to say that this is the kind of color I think of when I think of you, because I know how you are about your green.
Yeah.
This is a bright, happy. This is a bright, happy green that is 100% Cordell cross. Now, are Cordels typically raised for wool?
Yes, they are. They were developed in New Zealand.
Oh.
It's a pretty reliable wool. It's maybe not quite as super soft as a merino, but it's a good wool.
Yeah,
this actually, believe it or not, I dyed this one too. Can you tell?
Fun hand dyed. Now I like the little pops of yellow, the little pops of orange, And I think I even see a little bit of blue. Yes, a little tiny bit of blue in here. See if I can get it close. Now, you have to look at the picture. I won't be able to get it close enough for you guys to see.
I can see the blue and the orange.
Yeah. Now, that one felt softer than the Romney, softer than the Cardell Cross, feels softer than the Romney. It feels softer than the Suffolk,
Mhm.
and softer than the Zorkle. So if you like soft, this has a nice smooth feel to it. And personally, I like a tight twist.
Mm.
Back one. Oh, this is another Corriedale Cross. I like the soft colors. It's 156 yards. It's a worsted weight.
I dyed this one as well. I dyed it with a top, and this is how you can see what it would look like. You know, if you had a top, that's how kind of how it would look when you see it as a.
So you dyed the top?
Mm-hmm. Just like I did for the, you know, the ones that I've been showing, the Plumtastic, like, you know, I did it the same way.
Oh, interesting. So that's what it will come out as when you spin it. Madeline just asked if there are more than single skeins. Some of these are one of a kind. There are some that there are multiple skeins in the same colorway or super similar colorway. They will be labeled, let's say it has a number, like this one's 041. It'll be 041A, 041B, so that it will have the same number and a letter indicating that it's the second or third skein. But most of these are individual skeins that are absolutely unique. No one else will have one of these in the world. Now, what I will be throwing out for you guys is a couple of ideas about what you can do. You know, I'm always talking about those golden skeins that we buy. We buy these beautiful, beautiful individual skeins, and then you don't always have to make them into a single skein project. There are a lot of projects out there where you have a small amount of a guest star yarn, and it just takes pride of place in the project. That way you can have that single skein that really just sets off what you've done. This is a Zwartbolt.
Zwartbles.
I'm gonna get it one day. Can you give it to me one more time, Laura?
Zwartbles.
Zwartbols. Thank you.
And there is no A between Zwart and bowls. So it's just Zwartbles.
It's making me marble mouth.
Yeah, there. If you got it that way, that's perfect.
Those Zwartbols, like I said, very sturdy wool, beautiful natural color. The lighter color you're seeing, that's the Jacob. And the sparkle that she's worked in there is that she snuck in a little tiny bit of Angelina. And this is one of the ones where there are more than one skein. So you did a great job matching them too.
Thank you.
You'll need to be alternating the skeins or anything on this. This is a Falkland wool. So it's 258 yards of Falkland worsted. Look at that. This is one of the ones where you separated the braid.
Yep. And that's definitely done as a fractal.
So when we talk about yarn that's spun as a fractal, what's that going to do in a project?
What that's going to do is it's going to give you a color change, not necessarily from yellow to orange to blue, but it's going to give you, there's going to be some color changes, some barber pulling in the middle as you go from one color to the next. And the way that you actually do is you split the braid in half, and the one braid you just spin as it is, and then the second one you split it multiple times. So that's going to give you not just a flat color change, but it's going to give you a bit of a change in between each color change.
So it's gonna fade
Yeah.
from one color to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And the Falkland wool, it has that smoothness
Yes.
you like that you get from, and that's the neat thing about hand spun. You get every different type of feel depending on the fiber and how it was spun. So this has squish to it. It bounces back even in the skein, as you can see, and it has that smooth feel that I think most knitters will like. This is another Cordell cross. Did you dye these all?
Yes, I did.
So that's another skein that's hand spun and hand dyed. Look at that in the skein. And you're getting your softness, your squish, but it's still, these are all natural wools. So there's no superwash. So they will not be suitable for garments that will be wash and dry. But if you're willing to, now could you wash this on cold on a gentle cycle in the machine and just lay it flat to dry?
Actually, I wouldn't really actually put it in the washing machine. Usually
Okay.
what I do is whether I have a project or whatever, I'll put it in like a dish pan with shampoo with hair conditioner.
Okay.
Let it sit if you've got some spots in it or whatever, and then just rinse it out, and then I'll just lay it flat to dry.
Okay. Gentle hand wash, lay flat to dry. But I think it'll pay you back over and over again because it has a beautiful bounce to it. Oh, what I did forget to do, please feel free to explore the rest of the website. What you're going to notice is that the pictures, some of the pictures are going to change because I'm going to add some more pictures so you guys can have more looks to the different yarns. But I did want to just go back one step and tell you about Laura's bases because we discussed it beforehand and I totally forgot. So Laura has 4 bases available for you. The first is her fingering sock blend that is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. It comes 400 yards to 100 grams and it's a 3-ply. Then she has a sport base and all of her colors can come on any of her bases. So if you want to sport in bunny got a blue jeans on, you can have that. It's the same for the DK. It's 100% superwash merino, 230 yards to 100 grams. And she also has a DK fluffy base, and that is 100% superwash wool. So it's a non-merino wool if you want something that's just not merino but still superwashed. And all of these bases are washable cold water, gentle dry, or lay flat to dry. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, it's just a superwash wool for the fluffy base. And it just doesn't have as tight a twist on it as the superwash merino DK base. So it's a little bit fluffier. Let me take a look. Oh, wait a minute. See something in the chat. Ah, thank you, Susan. Susan's filling us in some more information on the Corriedale. She says it's a medium grade wool that spins easily, and how you spin it determines whether it's a worsted or woolen yarn. If you want stitch definition, spin it worsted. Hey, Laura, can you tell us a little bit about the difference between a worsted spun yarn and a woolen spun yarn?
Sure. There is not only is it the preparation of the way that the fiber is prepared before spinning, it's also the way that the yarn is actually spun. The top and roving can be spun as a worsted, and that would give you the smooth, a smooth yarn. And the woolen would give you more of a fluffier type of a yarn. If you're going to be doing what they call short forward draw, that would give you the worsted, which would give you the smooth effect. But if you're doing a long backward draw, then you're going to get the woolen, which will give you a little bit more air in there.
Okay. Now, if I don't spin a lot, I do a little bit of spinning. Oh, is there a date to use the free shipping code by? Is there an date?
Yes, it'll be a month from today.
Okay, so today is June 20th, and the free shipping code expires July 20th. Thanks, Yolanda. For us non-spinners or us baby spinners like me, when would you want to buy a yarn that's woolen spun, and when would you want to buy a yarn for what kind of project? Would you want a worsted spun yarn as opposed to a woolen spun?
A woolen spun would be good for a sweater that you want to keep nice and warm with, because that air will help keep you warm. And the worsted would be really good if you want to do like a shawl that has stitch definition, that you want to see those fancy stitches, because that'll be a more smoother.
Okay, so before we go, I just want to thank you all for hanging in here with us. If you have any more questions, we'll be happy to take them. Oh, also, Laura, I need to let everybody know, you do some fiber processing, don't you?
Yes.
If one of the spinners here attending has a fleece, could you let them know how to get in touch with you for fiber processing commission?
Sure. At the moment, probably the best way, because I can't remember what my email is, but I will put it on my website. I think it's really easy to remember, but I don't want to say it and then mess it up. But you can always contact me through Instagram or Facebook, and give me a few days before my brain comes back, and I'll put my email address on my website so you can contact me there.
Not a problem. In the meantime, if anybody wants to have a fleece processed, you can email me and I'll forward it. I'll try and get it to Laura for you. We always have a giveaway, part of our trunk show. And this trunk show will be giving away a skein of Laura's hand-dyed yarn. So please comment on the video when it's up on YouTube, or if you're more on Instagram, post or comment on Instagram using the hashtag 3BunnyTrunkShow. That is 3, the word 3 spelled out, Bunny Trunk Show. And I think that's everything. Does everybody know where to go to get hand dyed? You go to Laura's website, and to get hand spun, you go to Lisa's website. So I just want to say thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And if you think of anything after the show is done, always send an email. Oh, thank you, Madeline, for coming. It's been great seeing you all. I know it's a bright, sunny day. And I'm glad we had some yarny fun in the sunshine. Have a good day, everyone.